Hello, Taurus. I hope everybody's doing great today. I noticed we had a lot of activity here in chat, so I wanted to start a couple minutes early. And I've been receiving a lot of information too, and I wanted to get an early start on that. So I always like to begin with a little bit of love here from Apollo. There you go. He's sending his love to you as well. Great to see everybody today. I have to say the energy was overwhelmingly positive and that there's a lot of movement happening for your sign. So I can't wait to get into that. And as much as I'd love to hang out here with Apollo the whole time, let's get started and talk about what's coming in for you. So I'd like to first of all just say welcome. And one of the things that was coming through as I was getting ready for this was just the power of mantra. And I think if everybody could start today thinking it's going to be a great day and take like a really deep breath and just kind of put that out in the universe, that was part of the message that I really wanted to start off with for you. And today there's a kind of a very opening energy that I'm going to talk about in the meditation part. So as you can see, one of the new things that I'm doing in 2020 is I'm putting healing meditations at the end of each video. I'd love for you all to stick around because I also pull 3 cards. And this month, what I'm focusing on is self-love, healing, and forgiveness. And basically, I was talking to Aries the other day. This is like love with a capital L. We think of love as far as relationships go or what we love. This is really focusing on opening up the heart. So we'll be talking about that later today, and I'd love for you to stick around. But let's get started at the beginning here with just a quick introduction in case you just happen to click live and you've never seen me before. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. I'd like to welcome back everybody that has been with me and just say today is going to be a great day. I can't wait to get into it. All of these live readings, by the way, they're always available for replay immediately after the broadcast. So if you join late or if you have to leave early, you can always watch the full broadcast later. So I just wanted to let you know that. And also I get this question a lot. You can use it for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon. And thank you so much for the super sticker and super chat. One thing I'd like to address with that is that a lot of different readers online handle this differently. The way I do is it's basically just a way to say thank you. I don't answer questions while I'm doing this because once I open up the channel, I really need to focus. But afterwards, I will call out everybody in a comment when I post the video live and know that all of those contributions help. That's how I continue to buy supplies and set up the time to do this. So if you like what you see, send me a cute sticker like that. It really makes my day and it makes a difference as well. The way that you can access that, by the way, is this little icon here next to chat. And there's a bunch of options there, including you can become a channel member if you'd like to. One thing that I'd like to talk about here as well is that we have 2 great moderators. So they're going to help me keep things on topic and answer any questions. I just want to start it off by saying thanks to Maria and Ryan for helping out. And with that being said, I'll talk at the very end a little bit about other ways that you can get involved, joining me on social media, booking an appointment, and also or becoming a patron. All of that will come at the end. My moderators are also going to put some information right here, right now as well. By the way, you can also go to my website for all of that. But I have so much I want to talk about today that I'm really looking forward to doing that. So let's get started. Actually, I forgot to say this. The way that I organize this is I start with channeled information, look at a Celtic Cross, expand it to health, wealth, love, and destiny, and then I do a healing meditation. So we're getting into the channeled meditation or the channeled information right now. And right before I get started, you notice that I show up about an hour early. I'm sitting here and I'm meditating and I'm receiving information. I also woke up this morning at 4:44 and I was also getting some downloads for your sign. So I scribbled it down when I woke up. I also am going to incorporate part of what I saw in your meditation. I want to talk about that first, though. What I saw was this, like you were at the top of this really big hill, and I got this feeling of getting ready to take off or to lift off. But there was a need to sort of open up your wings. And I think for some of you, there may have been someone in the past that didn't let you spread those wings out or maybe clip the wings. And today we're going to rebuild them. That's part of what I'll be looking at for you. The second piece of information, we'll focus on that in the meditation, but your channeled message literally was to clean up your messes, but I put it in nicer terms, basically resolve unfinished business. And I checked, and we're going to be entering in just before the month of March. This is for March 2020. But just before the beginning of March, we'll be entering into a retrograde. So this makes perfect sense. Cleaning up anything that feels like it's not done or it's a little messy, anything that you also have put on the back burner you want to be focusing on. But when I saw this, there was also something important with cleaning things up. I feel like this has to do with any sort of face-to-face conversations or negotiations or things that you just need to get out and put it in the open. This could also be clearing your conscience or having to sort of stand up for yourself. And I feel like there was a sort of desire to not have to do the face-to-face confrontation. So when we look at the cards here in a second, I'll try to help with some advice on how to have constructive and heart-centered conversations, because then it doesn't become a confrontation. It becomes just a way to have someone see you for who you are and really open up your heart and your light to that person. So don't be afraid of that conversation. I would say let go of the idea that it has to be conflict. Just like we began today with that one simple thought, it's going to be a great day. You could also enter into this conversation thinking it's going to be easier than I think. It's going to go better than I could have hoped. And when you enter with that thought, the energy's all around you and the person also wants it to go better. So let's take a look at what the cards have to say now. At this point, just a reminder, I like to remain quiet while I lay out all of the cards because I need to pay attention to what's coming through both visually and also as my guides are speaking to me. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards, lay everything out, and I'll join you right afterwards. Okay, so stick around. As I was doing this, I had a feeling the Fool was going to come, and I love that this one's taking flight. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, we had a card that just popped out, but I want to do two. All right, thanks everybody for being patient. All right, so your Catalyst card this month, by the way, Catalyst is a way that you can connect everything that we see here. It's basically like a wayfinding device. It also helps you stay in the high frequency energy, so it's a really important card. It says, I can release my need to control. So in tarot, this would probably be like the Emperor or Empress card or the Chariot, but we have this beautiful sort of like, it reminds me of a star seed or something like that. So one thing that you have to do once you create something is just let it grow. This also looks like, you know, an egg basically. So what I want you to realize this month is the most important thing is to see what you want to create, plant that seed in your future somewhere, and then just release it a little bit. Surrender is really important to manifestation. I did a video on manifesting, if you're interested. I've actually done two, so you can look at my site. There's actually one that references the earlier one, so it should be posted a couple days ago. It would be worth looking at because this message absolutely goes with that. Surrendering is also a great way to connect to the divine and enhance your intuitive skills. I was talking to someone the other day, and I could tell that there was a fear of connecting with the divine. And as long as you sort of outline what it is that you're trying to do in a meditation, which is what we're going to do later today, once you open up your heart and allow the healing energy to come in, that surrender is what really allows you to get to the next level. You can't control the flow of things sometimes. You can set everything up and trust, but the everything, like there is a certain amount of things that kind of come through in a cosmic flow. So trusting in the divine, I think that's going to be really, really important. There's a couple of other cards here. I normally wouldn't hit on this until then, but I think they actually go hand in hand with that. We had, I think joy was the one that flipped out, and then gratitude was the other one that I pulled, but they're both in the same energy. So staying in a place of joy, gratitude, and then surrendering, trying to control all of that, just trusting that everything's going to work out is going to be important. I did feel this really great light energy coming into this sign today. I don't always feel that. Sometimes I'll even email a moderator saying, today, watch out for this. But I had no worries coming into this sign because I knew that there was a lot of positive movement and energy. And I feel like if you approach March 2020 with that thought, like this is going to be a great time for growth, for development, for opening. Things can be easier than I thought, then they can be. It is kind of like, if you see it, if you believe it, then it actually comes through. And I really want people to start to work on manifesting in that way, because I could feel that energy for you. We have the Three of Wands. The card is reversed, but this is a good card no matter what. Basically, a reverse Three of Wands means that there may be some unexpected delays. That the way that you could look at this sometimes is if you can trust that everything is being aligned to your highest good. Sometimes the delay is so that you can meet the right person at the right time, and also so that you have the right sort of set of attributes and preparation. And basically, it's everything getting you set up for that one opportunity. So if there is a delay, don't think, oh no, it's not happening. Instead, think, all right, it's happening, and there must be an even better way for it to connect than what I had anticipated. That's how you stay in the positive flow there. So I see delays on things that you're trying to get done, but not a permanent sort of thing. Just stick with it and don't get in your headspace too much, because right on top of this, we have the Seven of Cups. So the critical side of the Seven of Cups is that sometimes you can be overwhelmed by your own thought process, by listening to too many points of views, by Googling stuff, looking. This can, like a really common example of this is if you're trying to buy a product, you look at, and there's all these different reviews. There's a really high one, a really low one, and you just get lost in all of that. Or you go to WebMD and you're feeling a little bit not well, and all of a sudden you read all these things and you think, maybe I have this, maybe I have this. Pull back a little bit and get out of the noise of everybody else. Focus in and kind of on your intention, your voice. You'll be able to clarify it there. The positive aspect of the Seven of Cups is that if there is a delay with the Three of Wands, basically saying good stuff is happening, but you're going to have to focus on something else. Well, guess what? You can actually redirect and put a lot of energy into something else and get that going as well. So I can see multitasking happening really effectively this month. And you may have to cook with like 2 or 3 pots at once. It won't just be one thing in front of you. So if you kind of imagine what a chef would be doing in the kitchen, they can have things at various states of doneness. So you'll have that this month. And I would say try to limit it at 2 or 3 things. And that's going to be really effective for you. All right, here's one thing that's important as we look at the deep past, which is really what's helping you get to March. And because many of you are watching in the month of February, this can help. You can adjust these next 2 cards as needed. We have the Six of Swords in reverse. So a lot of times this can be a difficulty in parting ways or letting go. It can also be travel that's unexpected, that kind of sweeps you off your feet. So for some of you that maybe were trying to get a job, sell a house, or plan some sort of event, a new date is coming through that is either going to probably push it up or back a little bit. And now you have to juggle everything else accordingly. So sometimes there's a surprise element with the Six of Swords that involves movement, and it's in a timing that you may not want. But again, when we trust that the cosmos is helping set everything up, particularly since you got Three of Wands at the center, it wasn't the Tower. It's a very positive card. I think it's okay. I think go with the new timing and try to just juggle things around. Some of those confrontations that I talked about could just be picking up the phone or sending an email and saying, hey, I'm sorry, I never do this, but we need to reassign this date, or, are you flexible? Can I see you this time instead of this time? Or maybe you cancel. Whatever it is, there's a little bit of that. For some of you, this is an overdue parting of the ways when it comes to a job or relationship as well. So you might have outgrown a particular place that you're working or someone that you've been with. And it's hard because letting go is always hard. For this one, what the card is saying is that the time is never really right to have a conversation like that. If something needs to be done, notice how we see the moon as a very sort of apparent symbol in this card. Not always do you see that, but in this particular Six of Swords, it is. I was looking at one the other day where we were talking about the star. This one is the moon. So with the moon comes all of the symbology of the moon, which is dealing with things that you're afraid of, facing hopes and fears together, and just trusting that you can move through the illusions or anything that's just bothering you. The sooner you let go of that, the sooner you can get to some of the really positive energy. I'm going to fast forward to the end because this is important, and I almost wanted to say something about this beforehand, but it ties into what I was talking about with getting your wings. We have the Fool reverse, but this particular one is showing like a wizard or a witch on a broomstick, and they're taking flight. And that was the energy that I was feeling that we wanted to talk about in the meditation. So I feel like everything this month is setting you up to take a risk, to take flight, to get something started. So one of the prerequisites for that is to let go, to part ways, to sever something that already exists, because it's holding you back or it's slowing things down. It's kind of like a boat that's tied to the pier. You have to let go of that string or that rope. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to move forward. And that's the energy of the Six of Cups. And that's why I kind of probably went to the boat imagery, because you do need to move. I feel like when we're looking at recent past, which is probably where many of you are at right now, if you're watching this in February, we have Temperance. Notice that she has one eye open. So I feel like this month, there are two things that you can look at with Temperance. I actually think that don't wait too long is what I see with this one. And it's also about really being present. And that also is one of the steps of manifestation that I covered in the video that I talked about. I can't remember which step I put it at, but I think it was the last, actually. I think it's step 6, is just to be really open, aware. And this is when you expect something good to happen. And this is kind of how you would deal with the universe. It's playing like spiritual hard to get. Say, I know what I want. I'm ready for it. I'm not going to try to control it, but I'm going to keep an open eye so that I can recognize it when it comes in. So start to expect things to change, and don't think, because what I want to highlight is if you have this self-perpetuating thought that it's not going to happen, it's happening too late, I can't manifest, I have bad luck, all of those things, that's what will get reinforced rather than the shift that wants to happen. If there is a breakup for any of you, let's say you're in a relationship, long-term or short-term, the good news is, first of all, we have the Two of Cups in the crowning position. It was reversed, but it's still the Two of Cups, which is partnership, friendship, opportunities like that. So what I like about the Two of Cups is that you have a chance to resolve something, even if it's a parting of the ways, in a positive way. You also are opening up the energy for something new to come in. And this is a magic themed deck. It was actually already kind of out. I'm like, oh yeah, this is exactly the one that I need to use for them. This Three of Wands is kind of conjuring in what it needs for the future. So I want you to think, all right, I can love again, or I can find the partnership that I'm looking for. Two of Cups doesn't have to be love. It could be the perfect business partnership, the ideal roommate, anything that you're looking for, an advocate, if you're trying to figure out like how to invest money, whatever you want to do. But I'm seeing good people come into your life this month. So decide kind of what you're looking for in partnerships. And I think that's going to be something that's good. The fact that we have Two of Cups and the Fool in the two top positions also tells me that new energy, new people, this is the time to open things up a little bit. And I think it's good to try like new circles of sort of social circles and social spheres. It's going to be very, very optimistic and very good for you. One thing that this is an area of opportunity as we look at the near future, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Now, the Page of Swords is good. Anytime I see a page or an ace, I'm happy. It's usually about good news coming in or movement happening. The reversal of this can show that you need to go and take a second round at something. So if you're a writer, this is a revision, a second draft. If you're signing a contract, you're probably going to go back and forth before you agree on the money, the timing. I mentioned that something could just not feel right in the cosmic timing, so you might have to revise. Speak up for yourself. Anytime I get any of the court cards within the Suit of Swords reversed, it's really about being direct. The Page card is the most muted energy of all of those. King of Swords would be like just telling you something that can kind of shatter you sometimes in reverse. But the Page of Swords in reverse is saying, no, we really need to talk about it. And today it has to happen, but it's not sort of in a way that is going to be overwhelming. So this is what I was talking about earlier. The confrontation doesn't feel like it's going to be bad. The person actually wants this to be resolved as well. So if there's something that you need to fix, it could be as easy as something's wrong on your billing on a bank statement or something. Just go in with kindness, with directness, and say, I know we can work this out today. I think we just need to find the right person. Let me talk to your manager or whatever. But you don't have to kind of go in there stomping and, and fuming. We've all done it, but like this is about tempering the message and really trying to put the heart first and try to understand where that other person's coming. And if you can find a way, kind of like a Venn diagram where there's overlap, like I know you have a lot to do. I think we can get this done really quickly. It's almost a little bit like the Jedi mind trick, putting out what you think you can do and trusting that it's going to be okay. And the person kind of latches onto that to some degree. If you are a writer, this is a good month to get to work. If you do anything creative, or if you have something that you need to do, particularly with contracts or anything written, this is the time when you want to focus on that. And I think one of the challenges for your sign this month is just figuring out work-life balance. We have the Two of Pentacles. It's in reverse. It's also a travel card, even though we're not seeing the travel element in this one. So if you're being asked to travel, you could cut back on that a little bit, or you could decide how you're going to compensate for that. Like maybe you should get paid a little bit extra, or you should get some time off or something like that. Because one thing that I'm seeing in the environment is this takes a toll on you. We have a lot of travel cards, by the way. Six of Swords, Two of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, the Chariot, and the Fool. Movement, movement, movement. So this should not be a month of stagnation by any means. And I think one of the important things with the 10 of Wands is you have more control than you think. This person doesn't have to do all that they're doing. And not only that, but we actually see that they have someone in tow, a little kitty cat here. So I would say for those of you that are feeling like you're carrying your sort of load and then some, this is a chance to say, hey, let's even this out a little bit. That's what the Two of Pentacles is right underneath that. 10 of Wands can be movement. So for you, you might be looking at a new house. And I didn't get like the World card or the Wheel of Fortune, which would usually show a sale of a house. So for those of you that are renting, you might be looking at just moving into a new apartment. Or if you are selling a house, there could be a sort of general note that you might want to rent for a few months until you figure out where to buy or where to build. So partly because of finances or figuring out the best reinvestment. And I think that also kind of is a good piece of advice for anything that you're selling this month or next month, is to just sort of think about, is it the right time? Could I wait another month? There are some options with respect to that. And I think one of the big things that you want to focus on over the course of March 2020 is, where am I going? And because when you know what it is that you're trying to do, all of the other decisions in your life are easy. It's amazing how many times I will talk to someone in a one-on-one session, and I'll say, you know, they're trying to find a new job, this, that, the other thing, and it's just going to be a kind of clone of what they're doing now. And I'll pause and I'll say, are you happy doing what you're doing? What would you want to do on this planet? What would you want to do with your free time if you didn't have all of these things kind of tethering you? And I usually get radio silence. A lot of people don't know. So what I'd like you to do this month is to take some time to think to yourself, what is that I truly derive joy from? How could I redirect the path? It doesn't happen overnight. It took me 5 or 6 years to redirect from a corporate path to what I'm doing now. So it's not an overnight thing, but it's very satisfactory if you do it. But there is sort of that understanding that, okay, this is a commitment. I'm going to commit to this. I'm not going to be afraid to try it. The reason I'm going down this path is we have the Chariot card. It's reversed, but take a look at what the imagery is on it. Which way do you want to go? It's your choice. There's no wrong answer here. One of the paths is a sort of repetition of what you've been down. The other path, as we see here with the Fool reversed, I'm going to pull it up right, is you embarking on something that feels exhilarating, that carries with it some risk, that also has a lot of growth. Is the time right for you? I don't know. You're going to have to decide that. But I think based on what I'm seeing, the answer is yes, if you give it a go. Because we have the Three of Wands at the center. And this is, you can do what you want to do. You can create what you believe you can create. Let me take a drink here. So basically what I'm seeing for you, Taurus, is you're at a nexus. You're at a fork in the road. And if you decide to go down the same path, I still think that there's a chance for an upgrade or an evolution. The 10 of Wands shows that you really gained everything that you needed to, though, from a particular point in your life. If I'm to look at most of the cards here, we have a lot of, again, mostly it's about movement. So I feel like it's time to move on. And it's really, if you can't do it now, it's about looking at a date on the calendar and deciding, when do I want to leave the job? When do I want to move? When do I want to get out of this relationship? When am I going to go back to school? It feels like there's a big life event that requires a decision and some timing and some planning. And so what you're going to do this month is to circle that date and move from that. When I decided to quit my job, that's what I did. I decided 2 years before that I probably would do it, but it was the final 6 months where I thought it's going to be this date and this month, and I have to do it. And I did, and it was tough, but it was awesome. I felt all of the energy at once. Like I think I talked about this. I had the Fool, but I also felt like the Tower and the World and all this stuff coming through. You have a very gentle movement here. I like it. It's telling me that this new opportunity, this new thing that is coming through for you should be fun. And that's what we kind of see here when we're looking at love. It's about really being grateful for everything you've experienced so far and having some fun with this reinvention. I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's go ahead and expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. So health, by the way, is multifaceted, as are all of the cards within the expanded forecast. Health is mind, body, and spirit. And the more that I'm starting to do this, it really has to do with mind and spirit. The body is reacting to how you feel and what you're kind of doing in the environment. Guess what? We have a lot of messages about letting go. Control reverse is actually releasing control. And the message that we got was surrender. So when it comes to your health, letting go is key. And notice that we're actually seeing, like, this is within your third eye. And I think we have this is like Athena. So basically you have the knowledge which you already seek. Kind of close your eyes, stop thinking about it, get into your third eye, your seventh chakra as well, and connect with your guides, connect with your intuition. I'm going to put this down so that we don't forget it in the meditation. I really want to, we'll take a journey inward and then outward, so that you can kind of trust yourself. The other thing is, and this is really important, it just came to me as I was talking about this. If there's someone in your life that is either symbolically kind of taking away your power, or could even be abusive, is kind of stepping in and not letting you do what you want to do, then you have to let go of that person. It can be verbally, just sort of telling you can't do something. If it's physical, by all means, protect yourself. But usually things like this are much more subtle. It would be like when we see the Empress card in reversed. It's someone that kind of will constantly check in on you because they're afraid that you'll make a mistake, and then you aren't able to develop the critical thinking skills to just let yourself do it, or the trust that you already you already have what it takes. There's someone in your life that's kind of usurping control for some of you. So take it back. Take back that control. And so I'm also going to write that down so I remember it. And this can be done the same way that I did that mantra. It can just sort of be something like a contract release, which I have on my YouTube channel, on my website. Something like, I release you, I release the chains of control that you've created and I've given you. I release this and allow myself to move forward. That release is going to allow for the two of you to be able to form a healthier and not codependent relationship, and also for you to open up to new people, to higher love. All right. So I think those are the main things here. I do want to touch on one card. Actually, my hands went to it and I didn't know why. My guides literally kind of pointed me to this one. With the 10 of Wands in health, watch what you're doing. If you're doing any sort of move in particular, like literally if you're moving from one place to another, or if you do a lot of commuting and you carry a heavy attaché purse or or bag with you, you have a tendency this month, or I would say a possibility this month, to throw out something in your back. Also, if you haven't replaced your shoes in a while, replace your shoes, because you could slip. There might not be proper like sometimes they can get uneven. Something about your overall balance needs to be paid attention to. So be careful with what you're lifting and how you're walking and where you're walking. That's the thing to watch for. And other than that, I think most of it, you would really benefit this month from meditation, because the 7 of Cups is a busy mind. And it can be good when you're trying to brainstorm, when you're trying to think through things, but it can be agitating when you're trying to go to sleep, when you're trying to take that risk, that leap of faith. You get stuck in your own space. So yoga, meditation, exercise, all good. All right. Let's take a look now at wealth. Wealth is not just money. It's how you are either bringing in or pushing away opportunities. It can be how you're dealing with your money. We saw a little bit of that here with the 2 of Pentacles, but I really think it's resources here. You can make things work, but you have to make better decisions. The main message here, it says, you're a light worker who's come to Earth to teach about love, Earth Angel. I think this has to do with sensitivity. A lot of us are Earth Angels, by the way, and there's a lot of different levels of angels in the hierarchy. Of course, the archangels, but then there's like literally several rungs under that. It's a very sort of hierarchical, I guess, assembly of beings. But with an Earth Angel, let's just say you're probably highly empathic, you're highly sensitive. And what I would say for everybody in this sign this month, what you really want to focus on is, do I feel what I'm doing? Do I feel like this is good? Does it add something to my life other than money in my pocket, numbers in my bank account? You need something higher this month. And for some of you, it's a chance to move on. And that's what I'm looking at in the cards. So don't be afraid to do it. Some of you might decide to go into a healing path. So maybe that is Reiki. Maybe that's being a yoga instructor. Maybe that's going back to medical school and helping people with a traditional sort of medical training. I just see healing being necessary. And for those of you that are overdue to take care of yourself, do that, please, because if you need to do either an elective surgery or, get some healing or just get some sleep and take care of you, that's going to open up your energy system so that it can handle more. And I think that letting go of something is going to be really key here so that you don't feel so weighed down. Now for the fun cards, which are literally 1 popped out and I thought, no, we need 2 here. We have joy and gratitude in your love space. Love with a lower L and also with a capital L, because we're looking at both. So these are fantastic ways to bring in opportunity. Gratitude, being really grateful for all the experiences that have happened to you, not beating yourself up for any mistakes that you've experienced, not thinking that anything's been wasted. If you can look at everything, just imagine that this is like the 3 of Swords that you heal and think, all right, that was a lot of time and a lot of energy that I spent in that, but I learned so much. And then knowing that you can always create something else here. So I see something new coming, but the gratitude actually brings that new thing into birth. I can't ignore the sign that we have 2 symbols here of pregnancy too. So some of you might be trying to start a family, and I see that could happen this month. I love that we actually have a non-traditional card here as well. So for some of you maybe that are struggling, if it's a same-sex partnership, you might be able to either adopt or find a surrogate or find the right way to conceive, and something wonderful happens. But what I'm also looking at symbolically with gratitude is just that when you're grateful, something else comes through, and that's really the fertile element of that. Gratitude brings more. Joy, so important. I have a friend who posted a video on their Instagram the other day, which I love. And it was all about playtime. And these people are the same age that I am. And so whether you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s or older, I think, I would actually say from age 3 to 103, it's important to have playtime, because what joy does, what kind of being just out there and enjoying the world does for you is it helps open up every chakra. You light up like the sun. That's why we have the sunflower on this. So that also brings in abundance in all forms. So I think what's important this month, it's not about finding the love of your life. I'll help you with that in a second. I know that's always a question, but it's about being in the frequency of love. I think I did a video about that as well. But basically, I love what I'm doing. I love the people around me. And this is how I want to bring more love to the planet. Like putting that kind of energy out there, you do that, you're going to attract higher love in your life. I already see it here. There's love around you. There's opportunities around you. I think the prerequisite, I should say, is that there's someone or something that has to leave first. And I didn't get a definitive sign this month. Sometimes I'll see it here. I'm not really seeing that. I think that when you release control, when you release a relationship, something newer, something better comes through. And control dynamics are so important. We actually have another control card here, the Chariot, and this is in the opportunity space. So that's such a theme: surrender, control, releasing control. The Chariot reverse rather. It's all about letting go. Even the Fool, it's reverse. It's like, don't overthink it. Just go with the flow. So I do feel like there's this need to kind of take off, lift off. All right, finally, listen to your inner voice. We have clairaudient symbol here, right here, and we this beautiful flower right here. And I've talked about how our minds are like satellites. This is a beautiful illustration showing that absolute truth, which is you can, once you believe in something, the ability for something to happen, you start to see it, you start to hear it, you notice it. An example of this, by the way, which I'm sure you can remember back to, is like back when you were in grade school. If you learned a word, suddenly it feels like it's on the radio, it's on in the newspaper, it's everywhere. And if you learn like another language, same sort of thing, you start to pick up on something. It was always there, you just didn't know the word and you didn't recognize it, or it didn't enter into your frequency. So once you start to expect the good and expect the possibilities, they're there and you start to hear them and see them. The other thing is your thoughts are broadcasting 24/7. And I like to reference pop music and pop culture when I can because it helps. This is older school, so you'll have to look it up. But there's a song by Alanis Morissette, and it was like way into her into her catalog. But I think it was called Tapes. It's really good for intuitive types because she's talking about all the voices the thoughts that go through her head. And she sometimes just wants to drown them out. And so what you could do this month is pick one frequency and think, or one thought, a mantra. That's why mantras work. And start to pick up on that each day. Think today's going to be a good day. I'm going to make this move happen. I'm ready for higher love. I can achieve this. So pick a thought, broadcast that all day. And when you go into a space of doubt, go there. And if you're religious, or if you practice yoga, if you know the power of mantra, prayer, mantra, meditation, all of that's going to reinforce that little thought that you're picking as well. Let's go ahead and review everything that we talked about. I really want to get into the healing meditation because I feel like it can take you to the next level on this. So I'm going to do a quick review, and then we'll get into the ever important. I haven't figured out what to call this yet, but it's kind of like soul space or soul journey, because this is where we do the work on the soul. So it's taking the lessons of the month ahead and getting you ready for it, and also healing anything that I'm noticing in a spread for your sign. All right, let me take a drink of water here before I do this. All right, I put this in two different frequencies for you this month. For those of you that are no nonsense, clean up your mess. Clean up your messes. This can be both figurative and also real. Like, this is a good time for you to go around your house and clean, deep clean. Use smudging, to like sage, to go around and clear it, and put that intention that I'm only open to the highest energy. Anything that's low, either raise to my frequency or go back to source. And that can be something that you think or say when you're doing the meditation and the smudging. The other piece of this was to resolve unfinished business. So this has more to do with what we saw in your Six of Swords card here, which was reversed. It's really the moon. Even though I see the Six of Swords, I'm focusing on the lunar element here, which is about going straight to the heart of the matter, the hopes, the fears, all of those possibilities, and thinking this conversation is going to be easier than I thought. Surrender. Once you've done this work, just trust that what you're doing is going to take form. And we saw that fertility also symbolized here. If you love what you're doing, if you trust what you're doing, it's going to happen. Stay in a place of joy. Try to have fun with it. If it's work, if it feels like it's too much work, then you're not kind of leaving enough space for the universe to step in, and you're not allowing it to grow like we see here with the sunflower. Joy is important. Three of Wands reverse. Good stuff is happening. The timing is off a little bit, but it's still going to happen. Don't get into your headspace too much. On the bright side, if you have to wait a little bit for something and you get confirmation, oh yeah, it's actually next week, you can then redirect and use some of the Seven of Cups energy to put that great brainstorming technique into something else. Sleeping with one eye open or meditating with one eye open, be present, but also be open to being pleasantly surprised. The Three of Wands and Six of Swords can work in a positive, which is it can happen faster than I thought. Two of Cups, even though it's reversed, it's still saying that there's positive resolution of any sort of drama in your life. It's not the Tower, it's the Two of Cups. It's really good energy. Page of Swords reversed, a very light yet firm sort of approach to resolving things. So you have to speak your truth, but you don't have to be hurtful. You don't have to raise your voice. Sometimes speaking with a really calm voice, but being persistent and repetitive with that same message can be just as effective. I would actually argue much more effective than yelling. So slowly, softly, gently, but effectively resolving things. Contracts need to be revised. Writing needs to be done. Deal with that as well. Work-life balance, money also needs to be balanced, and resources overall. You have exactly what you need because we didn't get any other financial cards, but better choices across the board will help you out. Part of that could involve selling off something or just doing less of something, and especially when it comes to the balance of your time and your energy. You might have a bad boss, some of you, or a bad person in authority. And rather than bad, I could say ineffective. That's a much better way to term it. So help them do their job by saying what you need. And that's what this card is in conjunction with that. Don't manage up. Just tell them, I need help with this. Please figure it out, and empower them to do their job. That's a great sort of mental thought, is I empower you to do your job. And you have that in your head before you go and talk to them, because you don't really want to take on another person's role. Finally, most importantly, let it go. Six of Swords, the Fool, it's time. We look at deep past, we look at the future. It's two of the same, but it's easier in the future. So if you do all the work this month, it'll be okay. Again, with control. Control, let it go. And if someone isn't doing a good job, maybe quit, maybe move on, maybe find a different way to have this done. Sensitivity is a key thing when we're looking at your wealth. And that means that you might need to do a job that just makes you feel happier. You might be also very sensitive to people around you that are abrasive or that come off as abusive. Even if it's verbal, it's the same. It cuts the same way. One other note with health, just try to make sure that you're not carrying too much, both figuratively and literally. So emotionally, if you feel overwhelmed, ask for help. If you're carrying a lot of weight, be careful. Your body might actually revolt a little bit and say, don't do that, and you'll get a pulled muscle. Joy and gratitude are the ways to success with relationships, and also just bringing in abundance in your life. It's connected to the card right beneath it. With relationships, if you can be grateful and approach everybody, even those people that you previously saw as an adversary, with the thought, thank you for teaching me. But then add the sort of thought as like, class is dismissed. I dismiss you now. And that's the release that we'll focus on in the meditation. I really want you also to focus on one thought that's positive each day. Sometimes people feel overwhelmed on, how do I start meditating? That's how. You can begin in your own practice just by thinking, okay, each morning I'm going to pick a positive affirmation. And if you have trouble, find a book that has really positive things in it, flip through, find something that you like and go with it. Or buy a deck of cards. You could just find an oracle deck, kind of like what I'm seeing here actually. And just with positive affirmations, and think, I'm going to pick one of these today and focus on being in the frequency of joy or the frequency of gratitude. That's how you can start to develop your meditation practice. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's go to the soul journey, the soul space here, where we're going to work on healing. And I already picked up on a couple of things. I looked at Athena here, and we want to focus on the third eye. I also see that some of you need to take back power, kind of get abusive energies out as well. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But let me look at past, present, and future influences that could help or hinder your ability to be the best you, to experience self-love, healing, and forgiveness. Strength card in reverse. I mentioned that example, that or Empress in reverse. I think I talked about an Empress. Strength in reverse is the same thing. It's someone that comes into your life and tries to force their will or their way of thinking. And for some of you, you could even embody some of that. Like, I'm so excited because I know how to get this done. Intuitives sometimes have a hard time because you see what's possible, but you have to wait for the universe to catch up sometimes. If you try too hard and if you try to make someone do something, it doesn't work. There's some movies where you see people that are capable of time travel or they're stuck in a loop. And if they try too hard, it doesn't work out. And that's, again, part of the control thing. So I think we want to work on getting anybody in your life that is this strength card out. And if you are putting that sort of energy, again, of being reversed, which is trying too hard to control, again, getting that out of your energy, just trusting. Good leaders don't have to say that they're a good leader. If they do, it's overcompensation. We'll look at the present now to see what is holding you back or you need to focus on for, again, self-love, healing, and forgiveness. Six of Pentacles, choices. Can't help everyone, can't be everything to everyone, can't do everything for everyone. But you can do a lot, and you can do things that really matter. Choices, smart choices. And occasionally with the Three of Wands in the middle delayed, it's about not now, but how about next week or how about next month? So it doesn't have to be a hard no. The Page of Swords is muted. So timing, allocation, boundaries, limits, all that. No more waiting, but also not feeling upset when there is a minimal delay. So we're going to try to make you just feel like, I want to eviscerate the Hanged Man and pull in the Fool card, which is, I'm ready now to move forward. All right, I'm ready to help with the healing now. I'd love for all of you to stick around because the more people that are present, the more impactful the meditation. But one of the magical things with what I'm doing is that when you watch it on replay, there's going to be a bunch of other people watching it on replay. So you're still going to get that healing. So whenever you watch this, know that there's other people doing it and you can still tap into that energy, and you can also kind of tap into what we're doing right here and right now. So if you can stay. If not, watch it later because this is always a really important piece. Okay, everybody please close your eyes. And I'd like to start with the physical first, especially since I saw the Ten of Wands card. Tune into your spine and your back. And if there's any place where you feel like you've been carrying a load, maybe it's something that you've been needing to get off your chest, something that you've been holding near and dear. It's weighing you down. So I want you to take a deep breath and feel like you can just let that go. Let it start to kind of rise up from your body, from your energy. And I just want you to feel like your shoulders, your back, your neck, your head, everything is going to be supported and straightened out. Feel like the cosmic hands are coming into your spine, giving it a gentle massage and realigning everything. So let's call in Archangel Raphael as we do this. A nice deep breath. Please help everybody receive a healing in their spine, their lower back, their neck, even up into the cranial, sacral area. Make everything aligned to where it needs to be. A nice deep breath. Inhale. Let it go. Take shoulders, and I want you to bring them up towards your ears a couple of times and then back. Just let everything go. Feel like you're literally unwinding all of the things that you've carried with you, and you're just going to let it go. Send it to the earth, send it to the horizon, send it to the powers that be. This is not your burden. This is not your thing to carry. I'd like you to see a beautiful vista on the distance. Maybe there's a little bit of a hill. We don't want this to feel like it's a difficult hill. I'm looking at the Fool card that came through. So imagine that you're walking up a hill. You're not out of breath. You're just enjoying the journey. And as you walk to the top, I want you to look out at the horizon. You have a choice this month between the Three of Wands and the Fool, or maybe it's a combination of the two. I want you to feel in this moment, anything is possible. If anybody in your past, as symbolized by the Strength card in reverse, has made you feel like you were incapable of making a decision, I want you to see that person in front of you. And the difficulty for many of us is the gratitude. So maybe the thanks here is, thanks for teaching me what my own power was, that I no longer want to give it up. It wasn't maybe the best experience, but I'm grateful now because I know how strong I am. I know that I always have that strength, and I'm tired of giving it away. I'm tired of your energy. So I appreciate you and the lessons that you taught me, but I no longer need to learn from you. I dismiss you. I dismiss our lesson, our soul lesson. I've learned it. I release all burdens, all debts, all contracts, past, present, and anything that we're about to do. I'm releasing it and freeing us. Take a deep breath. See that person just evaporate in front of you. Like a ghost that you would see in a movie. They're just fading away. Their thoughts are leaving your mind. Their energy is leaving your body. Any remnant of them is gone. And where we called in Archangel Raphael a moment ago, you start to feel something new behind you. And with your mind's eye, you look behind you and you start to see that you have wings where before you were carrying a burden. Just give yourself a moment to feel how it is to have those wings. Feel the sunlight shining down on those wings. Maybe stretch them out for a second and just see how magnificent they are. Be that angel that you once were. Know that you still have that ability to take flight, but we're not ready just yet. But you can stand there with the wings, because like a butterfly that just comes out of chrysalis, out of its cocoon, it takes a minute to get used to the wings, to the new shape, to the new you. One of the lessons that came through was to trust the guidance coming through your third eye and to embody the energy of the Six of Pentacles. So I want you to decide in your life, who and what do I want to spend my time on? What matters? Don't think too hard. Don't get into the Seven of Cups. It should be the first thing that pops into your mind or your heart or your third eye. See it, embrace it, and know that that's your goal this month. That's your primary goal. Take a deep breath and honor your choice without any additional feelings of, did I do the right thing? Will I do the right thing? And if you can't decide now, repeat the meditation until you can see it. You'll get there. Nice deep breath. Inhale. Feel that your wings are starting to stretch out even farther now, and you feel the strength in them. You feel like you can actually reach all the way to the stars with them. But you're going to hold back just a second, because we're holding that vision now of what you want to do. And there's one more thing that's important to you. That before you can kind of embark on this journey, and that is that you have control. Think to yourself, I always had the power. I always had the knowledge. I just wasn't ready. And that person was in my life, or the situation was in my life, or my hesitation existed, as illustrated by the hangman, because of a lack of self-belief. So see yourself truly. Imagine you could step back and see this resplendent light body with two beautiful wings stretching out. So whether you want to see yourself as an angel, a butterfly, or some other mythical creature, I don't care, but see the wings outstretched, see the ability to fly, and take your right foot and your left foot, step over the edge that we saw with the Fool, and notice that you're not falling. Start to take a deep breath. Feel your wings outstretch. Feel the air beneath them as you're starting to soar towards your destination. Close your eyes and open your third eye and see the possibilities. Feel that you're being lifted towards those possibilities. You are supported. You are lighter than you thought. You are brighter than you thought. And the ancient wisdom of the soul is starting to come through your seventh chakra in your third eye. You're connected to the divine. You have a purpose. You have a plan. And it will happen. There's no more room for doubt. Take a deep breath. From here, everything seems easier. Even the people that you didn't like, you understand their purpose. Exhale, let go of any feelings of control. Feel all of those connections to the people that you don't need or want in your life. Snap. Now you are truly free. You can go where you want to be. You can do what you need to do. Gently see your earth body now, and I want you to connect this light body with your earth body. We reforged, we sort of had a little rebirthing here of who you are and what you can be. So feel yourself drifting like a feather, since you now have these beautiful wings, gently towards your earth body. And merge with that body. And where there are places of fear, of doubt, of pain, literal and also physical, symbolic, wherever it is, in the heart, in the spine, in the mind, melt this light body into that and allow it to go away. Allow it to lessen. Allow yourself to think beyond the limitations of the physical, because it's not truly who you are. That being that we just saw, that's who you are. And now think, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to honor the vision that I saw. I'm going to keep that in my daily meditation. Gently fold your wings and know that you can outstretch them whenever you need them. Feel that you are now one being, light and physical, mind, body, and spirit elevated. And gently open your eyes. That was good. Feels good. I think that I really want you to feel that you can take flight. That's what I got from the Fool card this month. And when we look at the Three of Wands, you know where to go, but you have to believe in your magic, just like we see with this magician. Okay. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey. One of the things that I really want to do on this planet is to help people heal, help them get past their blocks. And one of the things I try to do on my channel that's different, I'm not just going to talk about love. All of that stuff was about loving and seeing the future and forgiving yourself and letting go of people. We have to work on those things. It's not just about some hot air or water or earth sign that's coming into your life. It's really about loving yourself, working on yourself. If you do that, then you're going to see that hot person. But there's other things that are important. So I try to help you with the soul work. If you ever want to find out a little bit more about who I am or what I do, a great way to connect with me is my website. It's nicholasashbaugh.com. And for everybody today that has been kind enough to become a channel member, or I see I just got another super chat and super sticker, I want to say thank you so much. I don't do it individually just because I want people that hear this reading to be able to just hear the reading, not me thanking a bunch of people. So I will call out all of you in a comment after I publish this. It'll take me about 5-10 minutes, but I will thank all of you, and I'm thanking you right now. So I really, really appreciate your contribution and your presence here today. It means a lot. I'd love for you to connect with me on different social media networks. Facebook and Instagram are two great ones. We'll start with Facebook. There are 2 Facebook accounts. Please follow my professional one because that's where all of the stuff is going to go. So it's Nicholas Ashbaugh, no spaces, same as YouTube, same as Patreon. I've had questions like, what is Patreon? Patreon is a way that you can give back every month. So is the YouTube membership. You see S. Walsh is a member because you get a different colored text. So if you want to do that, that's a great way to give back on a monthly basis. But anyway, Facebook, Patreon, YouTube, it's all my name. Instagram, it's my name, but there's an underscore. And Instagram is great because I do stories there all the time. And also on Instagram, if you are a fan of tarot and you want to see a review of the new Dali deck, I actually did a review of that. Maybe sometime I'll end up posting it here on YouTube eventually, but right now it's an Instagram exclusive, so check it out. On Twitter, you can follow me at @Ashbaugh. And for those of you that are kind of old school and just want to say thanks one time, you can either use my website and just click the Patreon link, or you can also go to PayPal and it's my name, and the moderators have placed that out there as well. So I just want to say thank you so much. Today was a beautiful meditation. And I really want you to kind of remember that you are what you think. Just the same way, like what you put in your environment is really important, but you are also what you think of yourself. And so I want you to see those wings, see that possibility, allow yourself to get into the light, allow the good stuff to come through, okay? Thanks to Ryan and Maria for helping keep everything organized. And thank all of you for being present, whether you're joining me live or on the replay. By the way, if you like what you see and you know someone in your life that could benefit from the meditation or any of the information, please feel free to share this to your social media feeds. And again, if you follow me on my Facebook page, you can share something that I posted there as well. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. I will be sticking around for, let's see, we just did Taurus, so I'll be doing Gemini in about an hour and a half. So if that's in your rising sun or your moon, then feel free to join me for that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again on the weekend. The next live broadcast is on Sunday. Take a look at my website for the full schedule, and I know that the moderators have put a link to that as well. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you soon. Be well, and I appreciate you.